Hey guys, this is Candle and welcome to a new gaming pickups video. Yes, it has been a while since my last one. Unfortunately, I had a major car repair I had to pay for back towards the end of spring, beginning of summer, that pretty much drained my bank account to the end of the year and beyond. And it's only in the last couple months that I've been able to start getting out from under credit card debt enough to actually start buying games again. So yes, unfortunately, I have missed my goal of reaching 1,250 games by the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to be really getting any more games by the end of the year. So I did get up to like 1280 or 1181, I think, though. So that's not too bad. Anyways, I do have a decent stack of games here, so let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with the game that just came out the other day, and I'm itching to play it. I haven't touched yet. That is Dragon Quest III, the HD 2D remake. I'm a longtime Final Fantasy fan. Dragon Quest was, the other massive JRPG franchise for the longest time. Never really did as well here in the West as it did in Japan. Wildly successful in Japan, not so much here in the West. However, it's also a franchise I have never actually really gotten that far into. I have a number of them. I've played a bit of 1, 8, and 11, but I never actually got that far into them. So I'm hoping things can come around with Dragon Quest 3. I know this is the third of a trilogy with Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. That's the Erdrick trilogy. However, chronologically, Dragon Quest 3 is the first. And since they're doing HD 2D remakes of 1 and 2 as well coming out next year, definitely want to play through this and give it a go. And we'll see what happens. Another massive, well, not really massive, but another JRPG franchise coming out of Square Enix is the Mana series. And there was a new Mana game, the first brand new Mana game in a good while. That is Visions of Mana. This actually, I went to several different stores to pick up a copy. They ended up having it at GameStop, where it also came with a steelbook. And unfortunately, they did the thing where it's just a blank steelbook, an empty steelbook. It's a nice steelbook, but what am I supposed to do with this? This is stupid. Like, I don't want to ditch the original case that the game came in, but like, what's the point of having a separate steelbook? Why not just, I know they have to package up a separate copy and stuff like that, but why give the steelbook separate? I've been over this before with Final Fantasy Deluxe Edition, stuff like that, and sorry about that. The piece of paper I used for privacy fell down. Anyways, that wasn't the only game I picked up. I picked up others. Yes, sorry. I haven't done this in a while. Can you tell? So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Visions of Mana, just because I have played this one a little bit. I didn't get much more than a couple hours into it because it was kind of, I don't know, the story just kind of wasn't there for me. Like, I was enjoying the gameplay quite a bit. I was enjoying the combat quite a bit. But unfortunately, the story, it's doing this thing where the world in Visions of Mana is like, oh, we have this big evil thing that's going on where we have to sacrifice certain people every year in order to make sure everybody still survives and stuff like that, which is a great story idea, and I love it. Like, Final Fantasy X does a wonderful job for it. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy X is very melancholic, and unfortunately, Visions of Mana is not. Everybody, at least at the beginning of the game, is very much happy to go off and sacrifice themselves, even though they know that they're sacrificing themselves. So it's just I just this weird mix there where I'm not really sold on the story. So I don't know. I'll get back into it at some point, give it another shot. Another game I picked up was Star Wars Outlaws, and this was another one I didn't really get that far into. Only about an hour or so. I didn't even finish the prologue, unfortunately. And this has made me come to the realization that for most Star Wars, unless it includes Jedi or X-Wings, I just don't really care. I just, those are the things I love about Star Wars more than anything else. Is Jedi, lightsabers, force powers, and like X-Wings and stuff like that. And the fact that this is a smuggler type, scoundrel type character, but it's not Han Solo, it's not one we're already familiar with. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another go at some point. This is like the first properly open world Star Wars game, so maybe I'll give it another go at some point. But for now, it's probably just gonna sit on a shelf. Speaking of things that are probably just gonna sit on a shelf for a while, let's go ahead and talk about these next. Yes, the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Remaster collections finally got a reprint. finally got standard editions of these. So these are going to sit sealed. They're going to sit on a shelf. They're going to look pretty, and I'm going to love having them. But because I triple and quadruple dip to get these. Because I already had them on PC, and I already had the digital versions on PS4 so that I could get the trophies. So definitely glad to have these and add them to my collection and stuff like that. But these are probably going to sit sealed. I might open the Switch version at some point to play it on Switch and stuff like that. But other than that, these are probably just going to sit sealed. Definitely glad to add these to my collection, though. Another one that's going to sit sealed probably is the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 HD remasters. This is, again, because I picked these up digitally when it first came out. But now that it's physical, I had to pick up a copy of that. So definitely glad to add this to my collection. I'm currently playing through Tomb Raider 2. So really, really enjoying it and loving that. But these games are a lot more difficult than I thought, or than I remember them being. So definitely glad to play through it. And the good thing is it's not just Tomb Raider 1 through 3. It also includes the standalone expansions that were previously exclusive to PC. So you've got Unfinished Business for Tomb Raider 1, Golden Mask for Tomb Raider 2, and The Lost Artifact for Tomb Raider 3. The Lost Artifact, I did once upon a time have that on PC. I don't currently. But definitely glad to add that back to my collection and play through because I never actually finished it. Also, I never played through Unfinished Business or Golden Mask because Tomb Raider 1 and 2, back in the day, I played through those on the PS1 versions on PS3 for my YouTube channel for Let's Plays. Never actually did it for Tomb Raider 3. I started one and got like a good ways through it, and then it kind of just broke me. And that was my first big YouTube hiatus. Where I was just gone for like 2 years. So, yeah. Definitely glad to have that in my collection. Another one that's probably going to sit sealed is the Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition physical release, which also includes the Alan Wake Remastered Digital Edition and both of the DLCs for Alan Wake 2. Definitely glad to add this to my collection. Huge Alan Wake fan. I already have the standard edition and the collector's edition of the original Xbox 360 release of Alan Wake 1. Plus, I have the PS5 physical release of Alan Wake Remastered. So definitely glad to add this to my collection. Really enjoyed the Lake House. Kind of short. Very obviously very much about AI, generative AI and stuff like that. Can't wait to see where it goes next. Lake House leads a little bit into Control 2, I think. So definitely looking forward to seeing where the Remedyverse is going now. On the remake train and remaster train, because a lot of these games are remakes and remasters. Actually, the only original games I think I picked up was Visions of Mana and one other that I'll talk about in a bit. It'll probably be the last one I pick up, or I talk about. But I also got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, aka Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon HD. Been playing through this again a little bit I did this a little bit for Halloween, and I forgot how much I hate the mission structure of this because it pulls you out of the mansions like after every 10, 15, 20 minutes. And so I'm not sure if I'm ever actually going to go back through and replay the entire game because I did play the original 3DS version. So still glad to have it in my collection. I also picked up the Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake. I will be glad to play through this again at some point. I haven't opened it yet, but I will play through it again at some point. But back on the horror train, like Alan Wake 2 and Luigi's Mansion HD, I also picked up the Silent Hill 2 remake. Really, really enjoyed this. I played through the entire thing. Really, really enjoyed it. They really nailed the atmosphere. I was a little bit worried about Bloober Team because some of their past games have been hit and miss. The only one I really ever played was The Medium, which I enjoyed, but it was kind of mediocre, so I was a little bit worried about them handling such a classic game as Silent Hill 2. But I think they did a really good job, especially playing this in the dark with the lights off and with like headphones on. They really nailed the atmosphere, just the overwhelming sense of dread I got playing this game, and dread in a good way. Like, this is a good remake. Not dread as in, oh, this remake's bad, but no, this is a really good game. If you can't pick up one of the classic versions of Silent Hill 2, definitely give this one a try. And again, in the remasters, we've got Sonic X Shadow Generations. So this is kind of a package where, kind of like the the Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, where they remastered an older game plus tacked on an extra thing. So you have a remaster of Sonic Generations. This is the console version of Sonic Generations. Played through its exact same game. And then you also have Shadow Generations tacked on, where it's kind of the same thing, where it's taking place around the same time. And this is what Shadow's doing, so it kind of goes through his games and stuff like that. So really, really a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Glad I picked this up. And then the last one, which is a game I had a ton of fun playing, is Astrobot. Yeah, really, really good platformer. This is like the mascot platformer that Sony's really needed for a while. A lot of fun. I played Astro's Playroom back when the PS4 first came out, or was it the PS5? I think it was the PS4 that Astro's Playroom just first came out on, or whatever. Maybe, and then no, there was one for the PS4, and there was another one that was a launch title on the PS5. And then there was another one that was also on the PlayStation VR. That's the one I haven't actually played. But still, really glad to play this. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. So anyways, that is it for this gaming pickups video. Decent stack of games. Like I said, it's going to be the last one this year probably, because I'm not quite out from under all that credit card debt from fixing my car up. So until that happens, I'm probably not going to be doing another one of these. However, when I do, I'll probably have more retro games again, especially since at least one of the GameStops around me and is now selling retro games. Another one, unfortunately, closed, which was a shock to me. I didn't even know it was going out of business or whatever. But yeah, one of the ones around me closed. Another one selling retro games. Anyways, yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next time, because I'm going to play Dragon Quest 3. So until then, thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.